Does the thought of changing overlocker threads scare you? Overlockers or sergers can look a little bit daunting, but I'm going to show you a really simple way to change the threads on your machine. First of all, I've cut the current threads, leaving a little bit of a tail, and then put the new threads in position. Take the tail of the old thread and the new thread, and then create a little knot. I'm making sure that's a nice tight knot before I trim the ends. And then do exactly the same process with all the other coloured threads. And now we need to get inside the machine, so I'll remove the little collection thing and open the front cover. This is a good opportunity to clean those bits of fluff that gather there from the previous time I was using it. There's always loads, so just take your time, being gentle with the brush, and try not to push anything into the machine. Safety first, make sure your machine isn't turned on, and then check your manual. Mine says to have the dial on here turned to where there's a little line. And lift the foot up on the machine. I'm gently pulling the threads that go through the needles, and then I'll snip those and tuck them out the way. And now we can gently pull on the two remaining threads. See the two knots here? As I'm gently pulling on those threads, you can see them feeding through. I find the knot can sometimes get a little bit stuck feeding through there, so give it a little help. And here you can see the threads starting to feed through into the machine. I have the two threads here. I'm going to do one by one just to make sure everything's flowing smoothly. So this is the knot, and we can see it travelling along through the different mechanisms that look really scary, but look, it's gone through all by itself, really simple. And here's the second one. There's the knot, and it's travelling all the way through. I'm just gently pulling on it until it's out the other end. The two needle threads can get a little bit twisted with each other, so take your time to unravel those from each other. There we go, they're separated. And now gradually pull on the first one until you can feel the knot pass through, and there it is. And now pull on the second one in the same way so we can see the new thread appearing. These tweezers came with my machine, and they're really great because they're good for getting into little nooks and crannies. I find them really helpful for when I'm threading the needle, and I'll show you how. I've saved you from watching me lick the end of the thread, but I find it's really helpful to then pinch the thread, and it makes the tip a little bit more pointy, which aids me getting the thread through the eye of the needle. After several attempts, I finally got the thread through the eye of the needle, and then the tweezers are really useful just to go around the back and pull the thread through. If you've learnt something in this video, please do hit the like button, as it helps the algorithms send this video to like-minded people. That's the second needle threaded, and the tweezers helping out again. Both needles are now threaded, and using the tweezers I'll just help them tuck the threads underneath the foot. Everything can be put away, and now we can test the threads and check that the stitching is going to be okay. Power back on and switch on, and then we can test. Put the foot back down on the machine, and then we can test that the stitching is all okay, which it is. Yay!